It's hot under the Rona sun, and this is probably going to be the closest you're going to get to Havana boys fanning you on the beach. So let's make pina coladas, but first I'm going to get out of this. Much better. Today we are south of the border of Canada, still in Wisconsin. Will be until the end of this. So I'm the bar and this is bartending, and this is where I show you how to make the drinks you desire without all the wizardry. So I heard someone wanted to know how to make a pina colada, and little do they know that's actually a pretty large question because I looked at the first 5 recipes I found and none of them were anything remotely alike. So let's get into that. We're gonna make a larger batch, so if you're entertaining it's really easy. And I found a little bit of a curious one that was more like a cocktail, and it was shaken in a shaker. The other one I've got a blender for, so let's start out with the classic one. There is actually a highway right there, so ignore any vehicle sound you hear. But, so I'm going to do this by taste. The ratios are a lot of pineapple juice, some coconut, and then some rum. So, starting out, it's good, pineapple juice. I didn't expect cream of coconut to be super sweet, but it is cream. But that's going to be our syrup and our sweetness to the drink. This is going to be our citrus and sourness. If you think of it like a cocktail, it breaks down like that. And the rum. Honestly, I'm surprised. I thought there'd be different flavor to that. But you can really taste the sugars coming through. It is a rum, so it's made from sugar cane. But it's just got a really nice roundedness, which is going to blend really well with the citrus as well as the sweetness of the coconut. So let's start throwing these in. And all the recipes seem to have about a 2-to-1 ice ratio. And so we're just going to play that by ear. I'm going to find out how much liquid I have and then double that in ice. But starting out, 6 ounces. Always keep in mind how big your blender is. You don't want to overfill it. Because that's not a good time. I'm going to stop at 24 ounces. Then I'm going to do about half of this, so it's just going to be 8 ounces. You can tell this is really precise measuring. And then on top of that, I might have overfilled this blender. Should be about 1/4 booze. I'm going to be making a big mess. Don't tell Mom. This is my mother's bar, by the way. This is where I learned to construct stuff, and my little bit of manly design skills came from her. Ice scoop. So the smart thing, put your ice in first. So if you can't tell, I'm used to working with a bigger blender. I don't have nearly enough ice, so guess I'm gonna have to drink some of it. I'm gonna wait till I blend it some though. So first thing we're gonna do is blend it. Shh. She doesn't have to know. Woo! I'm gonna blend this in the kitchen. I don't want to see how a blender works around this nice stuff, so I'll be right back. Okay, 2 life lessons. about here's where you want the liquid. The rest is ice. Fill it about 2/3 of the way, maybe 3/4. You saw I did not do that. This is half the liquids. The other half are in there, mostly on the counter. Because the second thing you need to know about blenders is when you're borrowing one, sometimes people don't always screw on the bottom. So when you turn it on, it goes. And then you have a large mess, and it is the best first drink video of the day. But on the bright side, I can forget my woes because ignore that mess. Ignore that mess. Mom, don't watch this video. I've changed my mind. Metal straw. No turtles. Did we have a turtle? We got fish, we got palm trees. We have palm trees. I'm skipping the fronds. I need a drink. Oh man, this just can't get a break. Great breeze! Don't do that! So, the second drink, I found some recipes that needed heavy cream in a pina colada. Very rare, but very interesting. Some of them cheat and put a whipped cream on top, so that way it looks beautiful and like really creamy. And so look out for those pictures because those Instagram liars are just that, full of falsehoods and lies. I need to clean this up. But I'm actually interested in adding some heavy cream to the cocktail because I want to do the cocktail version of this where it's shaken, and I feel like that'll give it a little bit extra body to it. But that actually is really cooling me down though. I highly recommend a pina colada. The way you want to break down a pina colada is actually really straightforward. I built it backwards. You start with the ice. You want to get 1 part ice, like 1 full portion of ice, half of that of pineapple juice, half of that of coconut cream, and then half of that of rum, depending on your needs. Some nights are a little bit worse than others, so go ahead and add more rum. But I'm going to get on to the next portion, clean this up through the magic of editing. Let's start the second one now. I refilled my emergency glass in case I need it, but the next one has a really cool feature of whipped cream added to it, which I don't have. I have heavy cream. Heavy cream is actually better for whipping. But I have a Hawthorne strainer, which has a spring, which I'm going to steal. This is my cheap one, which I don't like as much. So, really cool thing. Take a 89-cent bottle and a Hawthorne strainer spring, which most bartenders will have. Make sure the spring doesn't attack. Make sure it's on there tight. And this is a really quick way to whip cream. Okay, and, well, almost. Ooh, there we go. It is completely holding that divot. This is whipped cream. An ounce of Ryan Nephew, an ounce of Captain Morgan, an ounce of coconut cream, and then an ounce of pineapple juice. And I really like this. This is just a cheap little, I got it at Menards hardware store. It just has milliliters, tablespoons, teaspoons, ounces, so I don't have to think, and I can actually just mix something in this. We're gonna start with the booze. Let's try to accurately measure it from a can. Okay. And I'm aware that there should be a lot more citrus normally in a cocktail, as far as my own experience. Mixing is an overkill thing to do, but I didn't want the coconut cream stuck to the bottom, so I mixed it. Okay. And then half a portion of cream. Okay, I need ice. So the interesting thing about this recipe that I saw is the drink said shake. I'm not going to do this slam. There we go. This is all glass, so I'm not going to slam it on there. So the interesting thing about this recipe is it said shake it in ice and then strain it into pebbled ice or crushed ice. I'm not going through the extra effort. That's what this comes down to. There we go. Got a really nice seal on it. Okay. That's really nice. I'm gonna make a double. I think the main thing that extra whipping cream does is, because we're not blending it, it takes that bit of aeration and adds it back in. I actually prefer that one. We're going with the octopus. Okay, so the second one, Mr. Octopus here, I definitely like. No, you definitely taste that cream. When you start playing with ingredients, you want to make sure that you're thinking about all the ingredients and making sure they pair with at least 2 of them in there, because that way they can like harmonize around and like cohesively connect. Because if you think about vinegar and oranges, they don't have any connection, they won't work in a drink well. If you had like 3 or 4 ingredients between them, it could work, such as like you could have a stir fry or a slow roasted chicken dish, which vinegar or a like ketchup, which is actually tomato vinegar, blends in well because it completes that connection. So you want to make sure that when you're creating your own drinks, you find those connections. I think this does it really well. And the alcohols chosen are actually really important because they each have their own flavors. You want to make sure that you actually pair them and think about them. But I keep getting giant ice cubes. This one's like shooting bullets in my throat. So the classic Pina Colada is actually really good. I do enjoy it. It's got more of a refreshing vibe to it because it does have all of the ice in it and it doesn't have the cream, so it's actually a much lighter drink. So I imagine if I was out in the sun actually on the beaches, this one would probably win out. If I was in somewhere hot with a bit of shade, I would probably choose this one hands down. But I'm also a cocktail guy and I'm a bit enchanted by the fact that I can make a Pina Colada variant without a blender, because you can't always have blenders on the beach. I highly recommend both of them. If you have the means to do bartending, check this one out. If you just need a Pina Colada, and just want to pretend you're on the beach. In a vacation that's not your own house. That is refreshing on a hot day. So if you've got any ideas on how to improve these, or if you prefer more or less coconut or more pineapple ratios, things like that, feel free to leave those in the comments. I'm actually really excited that I had a request for this. The person who requested did it through the grapevine, so I don't know who she is, but a friend of a friend said they wanted Pina Coladas and other tropical drinks. So if you guys have any ideas or requests or want to learn how to do anything, let me know. I would love to check it out and learn it myself. This was a learning opportunity, and that's a good name for the mistakes with the blender. One thing that's a little new in this video is under the Corona Sun, I'm going to start having a social media link down below. I'm also going to point out 2 videos somewhere. I'll figure that out in a second.
This is the coolest little octopus.